Yo, chat, we back in this. We back in this. Why is freaking... That's not it. Is chat working? Yep, chat is back. Well, so what we're gonna do... Yeah, I just got the thumbnail. We are going to hop... Oh, Fortnite's still open. We're going to hop on, Why did Epic Games just open? We're going to hop on YouTube for a little bit, or we're going to see something, what's going on. That's YouTube Studio. Why did it open that up? Here we go. Oh, well, there's myself. Creator Clash 2. Is there really going to be a second one?
Good evening. Five Nights at Freddy's is a multi-million-dollar indie horror game franchise that took the internet by storm back in 2014 and has not let go since. Garry's Mod is a Half-Life 2 mod that rebuilds the game as a creative sandbox tool, technically dating all the way back to 2004. At a first glance, these two games couldn't be more different from each other. But weirdly enough, they actually have a lengthy and quite interesting shared history. Nowadays, they have an almost inescapable community overlap. Some of the most popular Garry's Mod Workshop add-ons and YouTube videos are centered around Five Nights at Freddy's content. And there have been channels like Venturian Tale which built entire...
Remember that whole era of YouTube where you could just find Garry's Mod animations from Five Nights at Freddy's all over the place and you could not escape it at all. It's kind of like when Markiplier used to play. I remember when Markiplier... Let's see if I can find it. I'm gonna see if I can find it. FNAF Gmod. Oh, it's Gmod. Yep, right here. I remember he used to do this. What the heck has happened to Jacksepticeye? Bro, what? Okay. There's a Freddy's, yeah, with Jack Black. Look, what? Gmod Markiplier. Is that really 13 of them? Yeah. I don't know, it's just Gmod videos. Why did I say FNAF? Well, yeah, he made a couple videos. I remember it.
Online careers off the back of this phenomenon. But weirdly enough, despite such a seemingly strong relationship, there's an undying bitterness in the Gmod community towards Five Nights at Freddy's and its fans. I have even seen it said that FNAF is responsible for ruining Garry's Mod. For such charged statements to be flying, surely something must have happened. What reasons do people have to hold this conviction? And how much weight does it actually hold? To understand the discourse around Five Nights at Freddy's and Garry's Mod's relationship, it's important to understand both games' history and how their bond came to be in the first place. As stated at the beginning, Gmod was created in 2004 by Gary Newman, and was originally little more than a testbed for the cut Fizzgun weapon from Half-Life 2. Once the mod began to evolve into a promising sandbox game, it caught the attention of Half-Life 2's developers Valve, who saw potential. Valve have historically been very generous with the tools and opportunities they afford to their community, and struck a deal with Gary to distribute and sell the game on Steam as a commercial product. As you probably know, Garry's Mod went on to be a massive success, for both Valve, who now had stake in one of the biggest, most bubbling game communities on the internet, and for Gary Newman's company Facepunch, who are now officially responsible for one of the most popular online games in the world, and would go on to use the newfound resources to fund other successful projects like Rust. A big part of Garry's Mod's success was its success.
I didn't know Rust was made by the same dude that made Garry's Mod. I did not know that. That explains the fan base.
accessibility. Not just for players, but for developers and modders too. For starters, the game runs on the Source engine, which has long been considered one of the most amateur-friendly game engines to develop with due to its intuitive tools and lack of a price tag. That might sound crazy to some given the infamy of Source spaghetti, but try to remember that the Hammer editor is still often used in universities to teach game dev courses. Anyway, Gmod also makes use of Lua to make programming online multiplayer game modes very easy, hence the exhaustively long game mode browser we have today. This remarkable accessibility has allowed Gmod, and also other Source engine titles like Left 4 Dead and TF2, to be easily used as a vehicle for passing trends. And that is a huge part of why the Source engine has kept such a big cult following online for so long. Anyway, by the time 2014 rolls around, Garry's Mod had just made the leap from Gmod 12 to 13, easily the most drastic update in the game's history, and a fledgling indie horror game called Five Nights at Freddy's has begun to sweep the internet. There's only one problem. Fans looking to make FNAF community content were left empty-handed due to many of the game's assets being unreleased to the public. And a solution presented itself in the form of Garry's Mod.
Isn't there an issue also with it being copyrighted afterwards when FNAF blew up? I'm pretty sure FNAF Garry's Mod copyright. I misspelled. Can't trust that's right. Yeah, you're not supposed to use copyrighted material, so how did this fly? Wait, okay, so Scotch. I'm not saying anything.
With its simple tools, built-in support for workshop content, and existing popularity with young people, Five Nights at Freddy's fan content, such as models of its characters and maps based on the game's locations, quickly made a home for themselves in Garry's Mod. And people didn't really mind the migration that much since the game had already dealt with trends like Slenderman in the past. But quickly, Five Nights at Freddy's foothold turned into an online empire, and what started out as a niche indie game quickly became a global horror phenomenon, with FNAF going on to sell truckloads of games, books, and other merchandise. There's no getting around it. Five Nights at Freddy's somehow became one of the biggest games of our generation, and revolutionized the indie video game scene as we know it. However, given how amateur the game was, the internet of course started to do what it does best. It started dunking. Of what I remember, Vinesauce Vinny and Germa985, both streamers well known in the Source engine community even back in 2014, peeved their audiences when they played the game, as Vinny appeared totally unimpressed with it.
He draws near. Good game.
And Germa played it in character as Demon Lord Zaraxos to the
Like VTubers before they were a thing, because it looks like a low budget college film right there.
crowd of people who desperately hope to see him get startled by the jump scares in real time.
Oh, boo! Here he comes! He's gonna come! Oh! Oh!
He sounds like Critical. He sounds like Critical.
Boy, don't get scared! Oh!
Go ahead, make your comment about how Germa was the original VTuber. We're all waiting.
Oh,
Anyway, this wave of dissidence
literally
against
said that.
FNAF actually worked to Gmod's favor, because it turned out not only was Gmod a good practical tool to make Five Nights at Freddy's fan content, it was also a good way to parody the game. Prominent Gmod content creators like Das Shit would parody FNAF using the same assets that were made by fans, and rack up millions of views doing it. Today, FNAF is no longer a single indie horror game, but rather a giant series of games that have each generated billions of views and millions in revenue. Much more popular than Gmod, despite coming on the scene way later. But Gmod still stands as a small and integral part of its legacy. Now, there's probably some things I missed in there, given that a lot of this stuff happened when I was still pretty young, and I never really got that much into the FNAF games past the original. But if you'd like to get to know more about these two games' connections from a guy who has more of a FNAF community insider perspective, I'd recommend Dags' great video FNAF and Source and Unbreakable Bond, which I made a sneak guest appearance in. Anyway, to get back to the point, to its detractors, Five Nights at Freddy's popularity was an accelerator in bringing Gmod away from being a niche Valve-oriented community to a glorified virtual playground for children. But how much real damage did FNAF do to the community? And is it really fair to blame the game, its creators, or its players for it? Let's start out by evaluating the things Five Nights at Freddy's is most often blamed for in the Gmod community. 1. Lowering the average age of Gmod's community and dumbing down its player base. 2. The dilution of Garry's Mod's social spaces and the saturation of its workshop content. And 3. Chipping at Valve characters' identities by using them as generic humans for their stories. Let's start from the top. Is it true that Five Nights at Freddy's brought a lot of children to the Gmod community?
Yeah.
Yes. Undeniable.
100%.
And this influx of children to the game could have led to a rise in toxicity as well. But I don't think it's really fair to blame FNAF for bringing children into Gmod's sphere. Let's not forget Gmod was already very popular with children, and honestly wouldn't have survived so long without them. I for one started playing Gmod when I was just 5 years old, and that was long before FNAF came out. But did Gmod's community spaces get worse as a result of the integration? There's
No.
definitely a case to be made there. Saves and
I would say it's about always been the same, to be honest. Because when there was a FNAF, there was Minecraft, and then there was Roblox stuff on here. Slenderman, pretty much Joke the Killer, pretty much anything, any creepy monster or popular game was on here. So basically, it was always like that.
dupes to this day are flooded with low-effort FNAF spam, and I even recall people trying to start a Stop Making FNAF Dupes movement back in the day. And in the aftermath of the collision, Garry's Mod content on YouTube did get even more kid-catered. You'd be hard-pressed to find popular Gmod content today that isn't expressly created for little kids. Once again though, while this content spam is undeniably cringy, it's still pretty much harmless. And really, were you actually expecting the Gmod dupe or saves tab to be filled with super substantial content in the first place? And finally, did FNAF chip at Valve characters' identities by using them as generic humans for their stories? Yes, it did. And it's pretty hilarious in some contexts, seeing people who have never played a Half-Life game in their life use G-Man to represent a serial child murderer in their edgy story. Hell, this TF2 Little Jack model has probably been used in more FNAF projects than it has in TF2 ones. However, messing up G-Man's face and perverting Valve's assets in other ways has always been an integral part of Gmod's identity. And I don't think it's fair to hold the line and tell FNAF people they can't join in on the fun too. I always thought it was kind of pretentious when the guy who made Cry of Fear made a big stink online about how people making Gmod screenshots of his characters was going to ruin everyone's ability to take his precious game seriously. Keep in mind that was 10 years ago. I'd like to think the guy has matured a bit since then. But still, I feel the same way about the attitude on display here. Feel free to disagree, but overall I think this is a silly thing to be upset about, and that it's kind of unfair to blame FNAF for it, all things considered. And I do want to bring some attention to some of the good that came out of FNAF and Gmod's collision. 1. FNAF introduced potentially millions to the game and the Source engine. Duh. 2. It fostered a fun community for young people and no doubt played part in many childhoods. And 3. It inspired a lot of people to develop skills in model creation and mapping. To start from the top point, it's undeniable that Gmod's connection to this massive phenomenon helped cement its own cult status and keep it relevant in pop culture. The game lives through new blood, yada yada.
Oh, there's the video I'm talking about. I just realized.
Second, the FNAF sub-community in Gmod is really strong. There are entire servers dedicated to FNAF roleplay that I have never dared enter myself, but that I know were at least at one point immensely popular. If I was like 7 years old and obsessed with FNAF, I imagine I'd be logging onto those every day. And honestly, there's probably worse places for your kids to be spending their time online. Probably. Third, some of the content that came out of the Gmod FNAF overlap was genuinely very impressive.
I'm never letting my kids on Roblox, that's for sure.
For example, Gmod mappers often advertise their FNAF maps as having events, which was a humble way of saying, we rebuilt FNAF mechanics and AI using only map logic and scripting, and we're also technically the first people to create co-op multiplayer for the game. But to wrap things up, here's, I guess, my closing statement. At the time FNAF came out, Gmod had recently rolled over to its most recent version, Gmod 13, and was experiencing a YouTuber renaissance, with a lot of child-catered creators like Venturian Tale and Yogscast dipping their toes into the game's waters. This was happening even before FNAF came out. Given that kids were being introduced to both games around the same time, and given Gmod's accessible and transformative nature, it's hard to imagine a world where demand for Five Nights at Freddy's Gmod content wouldn't have been sky high. And if not FNAF, it probably would have been something else. I also think a good amount of the problems FNAF gets blamed.
Oh, I forgot about Undertale's community. Yeah, there was definitely Gmod stuff all over the there was definitely Undertale over Gmod. I said that backwards. And in my opinion, the Undertale community is way worse than the FNAF community. 100%.
For are actually a byproduct of the Gmod 13 transition fucking up the game's community cohesion. It's very possible that the FNAF migration on top of that might have made the whole situation worse, but I also think what happened is mostly a natural progression of Gmod's life cycle. Being an easily transformable sandbox game means it was always going to be appealing to kids. Just look at Minecraft. But hey, eventually kids grow up. Who knows how many of these FNAF kids went on to become talented animators, modelers, or mappers in their own rights. Now, I don't want anyone to misconstrue what I'm saying here. You are more than allowed to reminisce and feel upset about how the Gmod landscape has changed. Lord knows that looking back on ye olden days of Gmod is part of what builds my channel's foundation. But I think it's important to remember that Gmod's tendency to collide with trendy media is a big part of what will keep it going for decades to come, unless Sandbox succeeds in replacing it. This video is simply my opinion, and my opinion is based on my own experiences and biases. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching this Halloween special, I guess, and have a good day.
I do not like that Richter Overtime guy. He sucks. He sucks my big robot Willie. I do not like.
Bro, what is going on here? Overall, good video. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for real. 100%. I'm keeping that. That's a good video. I'll comment. Oh god, that scared me. I hit the thing by accident. Tanner wants to get on a Discord call. Oh, Sunny V2. Oh, Pizza Hut sucks, that's why. Pizza Hut is trash. Critical. About my boy Taco the Human Dog. Let me see if I can call him. The answer is probably not. Yeah, bro, Pizza Hut just sucks. Pizza Hut sauce is so bad. Papa John's or Domino's, where's that? Alright, he's not answering. Bruh. Alright, hey, Avery. What's your Discord? And I'll add you. And you can be in the stream if you want. If you don't want to, that's fine, but I'll add you to our server. You can just text me if you want to, if you don't want to put it in chat. I guess let's just start watching that video.
This is a collie dog, and this is Toko the collie dog. Dubbed Toko the human dog on multiple media outlets and becoming increasingly popular for its disturbing, lifeless appearance. Inside this hyper-realistic costume is a person who's living out their dream of always wanting to be an animal. In today's video, we'll be taking a deep
So he's an extreme furry, basically.
dive into this human dog mystery and seeing just how close we can get to finding out who this person really is. Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and if I could please have your attention for just 10 seconds, and then
Everyone subscribe to Tub. He's a great YouTuber.
we'll get right into the video. I'll let you know when 10 seconds is up because we're gonna have a little red bar right here. We have a winter collection over at EarlDoesn'tExist.com, which includes this high quality denim jacket, and we have some other new designs, so make sure to go check out the website. And also my first ever album Ear Candy is premiering on this channel on January 26th at 6 p.m. PST, and it's gonna be on
that's
all streaming
tomorrow.
services. So make sure to turn on post notifications, then you can turn them off after. I really don't care. But yeah, that's it. Is the red bar over? Let's get started with the video. So, where did Toko come from? It all started on April 11th on Twitter when this tweet was posted. It had a video attached and read, "I ordered a costume. Thanks to you, I was able to fulfill my dream of becoming an animal." As I'm recording this, the Twitter video has 1.9 million views, and the topic alone has garnered tens of millions of views on TikTok. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This tweet was actually a reply to Zeppet's tweet, which was them revealing the costume for the customer. Zeppet is an art studio that specializes in figurines, animatronics, bodysuits, 3D modeling, and robotics. They usually get commissioned for films, ads, amusement parks, and other expensive reasons. Their original tweet read, "I made a dog modeling suit at the request of an individual. Modeled on a collie dog, it reproduces the appearance of a real dog that walks on all fours like a real dog." Here they also linked a section of their website where they give a few more details on the costume itself, such as the fact that it took 40 days to create, and the production amount was 2 million yen, which translates directly to $15,437.46. We're talking USD. Remember, this doesn't mean that the costume was bought for that amount. If the company wanted to make any sort of profit, they definitely upped the price. And for the amount of work and time that went into this, I'm gonna guess that the person paid anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000. Fake TikTok. Before we talk about the person in the costume, we have to talk about the fake TikTok that spread like wildfire. Maybe it's the reason you know about Toko the human dog. On December 5th, 2022, a TikTok was posted with the caption, "Half dog, half man." The TikTok attempted to showcase the human dog costume, but spread an incredible amount of misinformation to the over 11.4 million people that
That's TikTok for you. Oh my god, that's a bad frame.
viewed it.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's TikTok for you, bro. TikTok spreading misinformation everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Like, I can go on TikTok right now and find someone lying about something. It take me about like 30 seconds.
Not only did they misspell surgery every single time, but they claimed that the person in the costume got plastic surgery to look like that and paid $400,000. He eat like dog, walk like dog, and sleep like dog. Looks like you type like one too. Most of the people in the comments ate it up and probably continued their day like nothing happened. It's very easy to be tricked on TikTok, and I don't blame anyone for believing this stuff because it's not like everyone is gonna go out of their way to research every single TikTok they come across, but hey, I'll do the job for you. TikToks that spread misinformation remind me of that blue emoji image. But anyway, who's the person in the costume? Person in the costume. The person in the costume has a main channel named I Want to Be an Animal. The channel only has 22 videos so far, and each is about 5 minutes on average. I watched every single video on this page, and here are some notes I gathered along the way. In their second video, they flip through notes as a form of communicating to the audience. They have a Japanese text at top and English at the bottom, which I found very interesting because why the need for both languages? It just comes across attention seeking to me, but what's more attention seeking than paying thousands of dollars for a dog costume, right? Anyway, the cards are simply explaining that they're gonna start uploading YouTube videos more often. The flipping of the notes is highly unrealistic, as a dog wouldn't be able to do that unless they were trained to do so, but even so, this human is struggling to the point that they almost tip over just trying to flip the note, telling me they don't care about realism that much if they bend their wrists and arms in a way that a dog can't. Another question that is extremely important, how does the person fit in the costume? Well, it's never been revealed, but after looking at the body movements for a while, I think I have the answer. I asked my girlfriend to draw this for me because I'm not an artist, and thankfully she was able to bring my vision to life. I am 99% sure this is how the human would fit into this dog costume. The front wrists are way slimmer than the ankles, which leads me to believe that that's where the person's knees are placed. I'm sure there are
That just looks so uncomfortable. That looks so uncomfortable, bro. Imagine sitting in here and recording like We're just sitting here for like 20 minutes recording a video. That would be so painful, especially since this is literally all that's touching the ground. I don't think that's true actually though, because look right here. It doesn't look like that's touching the ground, and if that was the case, then the knees would definitely be pushing the legs farther up.
There are some bands holding the feet up and maybe some other ones holding the torso up, but we'll never know unless the person reveals it. What about the person behind the camera? It's obvious neither of them want to show their face, but they did accidentally show their reflection in the dog's eye for a couple seconds here. They also do show their hands sometimes, and they look slim, which could mean it's a woman behind the camera. The jaw is able to bite down with what I'm assuming is some type of jaw band, but it's so awkward seeing Toko attempt to grab stuff, even though they probably can't even see properly at all. The struggling makes me think the eyes are actually see-through, but everything's probably dark and you lose sense of most of your peripherals. In the video called Rough Collie Played Table Tennis, they strap a racket to the paw using a hair tie or two. The teeth are sculpted exactly like that of a canine's. I tried to find frames to see through the mouth, but it's always pitch black. At the end of the sofa video, you can hear the person in the costume panting, which is very surprising and leads me to believe that it's just an editing mistake and it went over their head because they're really trying to be anonymous. And I'll show you guys the clip, but it comes across just really creepy. I mean, it just seems like an extreme body workout to always be on your hands and knees and probably sweating inside the costume. In the video, Why Did I Want to Become a Dog? I'll answer some questions. We get a Q&A. So I'll read you guys some of the most interesting questions and answers. These questions were taken from random commenters, and they're answered with some text at the bottom of the screen. Why did you want to become a dog? I have had a vague dream of becoming an animal since I was a child. Would it be called a desire to change? When I fulfilled that dream, this is how it turned out. Have you ever wanted to be an animal? If anyone else feels the same way, tell me your story in the comments. What was the
Look
trigger?
at the name
I
of his
wanted to be an
channel.
animal
Clearly
ever
it
since I
wanted
can
to.
remember. So what was the trigger? It's difficult to answer the question. Why Rough Collie? The reason for this is because it's my favorite breed and because of its size. I'm particularly fond of cute quadrupedal animals. Don't you think Rough Collies are cute? The fact that the size gap with humans isn't large was also a deciding factor. Are you tired of being human? Sometimes it's reported that I'm tired of being human, but I've never said that. How did that happen? Other things were reported incorrectly. Beware of incorrect information. The topic is getting a lot of attention, but how do you feel about it now? I'm very surprised. Beware of incorrect
Oh my god.
information. The
Right there.
topic
You can see the knees right here. How it kind of curves up.
is getting a lot of attention, but how do you feel about it now? I'm very surprised because I didn't expect this to happen. How could this have come from a lighthearted tweet I posted? You never know what life has in store for you. And thanks a lot for all your comments. I'm sorry I couldn't reply at all. I've had a proper look through it. Thank you. It seems to be a hot topic in many different countries. I am interested in how I am being introduced to your country. If you like, let me know in the comments what's going on in your country. The person also talks about what countries their videos are most viewed in and admit that they live in Japan. Have you ever been outside? Not yet. If I had the chance, I would like to go out, but I don't have the courage to do so. One of these days, I'll make a video of it, so just wait and watch. What do people around you think? In the first place, I told people who are really close to me. For example, if I told the people I work with that I wanted to be an animal and I became a collie, they would look at me funny, wouldn't they? If anyone notices who I am, please don't tell anyone around me. In their 14th video, they started using closed captions instead of editing text on screen. Watching the person in the costume try to climb stairs is so incredibly unsettling.
What the heck?
It reminds me of that old Consomme Panchi Japanese commercial.
Bro, this is so goofy looking, bro. Who made this outfit?
Which we talked about in this video in case you want to go check that out. But yeah, in the comments they just say they gave up because climbing stairs with the costume on is incredibly challenging. They have custom sandals for when they go outside to not get the paws dirty. In their 16th video, they do go outside, but for a very short amount of time. They get scared of being seen and hear bicycles coming, so they panic, pose like a real dog, and walk back into their house when the coast is clear.
Okay, now imagine, imagine you're walking down the street, and all of a sudden you see this. No one's gonna think this is a real dog because of the way the legs look at the back. Those legs and the way how small the paws are, no one's gonna think that. I'm just telling you that now. You're not fooling anyone.
Oh yeah, in the captions of that video, they said that they rented the house for the video. Interesting, right? In their bloopers video, they present videos that never made the final cut and showed a scrapped jump rope video where Toko was supposed to jump rope. Though jump rope takes timing and we get a very human-like crawl from Toko for the first time, and it seems like Toko isn't even role-playing as a dog at this point, and it's just so creepy. I almost consider this breaking character because of how much it doesn't look like a dog. In their 18th video, they claim they went to a different location to be interviewed by an unnamed broadcast company. Here, they do run into people and interact. The people seem shocked, but overall are happy to greet a human in a dog costume. In their 19th video, they showcase that they can in fact drink through their mouth using a straw, which means there's an opening in the mouth. They for some reason go out of their way to drink 3/4 of the Coke. We know you can drink it. But what about eating? Well, in the next video, Toko eats food. Or do they? The camera person serves Toko dog food shaped toys, and it's just roleplay from here on out. The camera cuts to an empty bowl, and the audience is just supposed to assume it was eaten. The camera person is also confirmed to be a woman with the caption, "Now she's going to give it to me," from her hand. Their most recent video, which is from November 18th, 2022, is a thank you video for 10,000 subscribers. Or should I say, subscribers? Is that on purpose? They really focus on how popular they've gotten and talk a lot about their stats going up. Again, comes off as loving attention. They also mention a
At first, my response was mostly from Japan, but after I appeared on live TV, it started to be picked up international media as well. Okay. Happy not hurting anyone, but, what was I gonna say? 10,000 is not a small number, alright? Twisted, don't not. What was that? What's that noise? Anyway.
live TV interview, which I never found. Perhaps it only aired in Japan and no one has put it online yet. The Twitter account. So browsing the Twitter account, the main one, at Toko_Evie, that had the video blow up, all of their tweets were fairly normal and seemed like Toko was and still is a huge fan of the Nintendo Switch game, Pokemon Unite. We even got to see a setup picture. Very clean. Keep in mind, that's the only IRL image that Toko has posted as a human. I don't know how else to say it. But we can see their human height here. We can't actually identify it. I'm sure someone's gonna do it. Someone's probably gonna somehow calculate Toko's height using this image. And if you get it right, I applaud you. Anyway, being a big fan of Pokemon Unite, they actually streamed a ton of it on YouTube. And the best part is Toko still streams. In fact, they're more consistent with the streams than the dog channel. But even better is they use a mic in their streams. So that means we get a voice reveal.
はい、独特ワード。独特ワードだけど、交代読みってことで。さあ、こいつは天然なんだ。
This game looks like trash, bro. I remember, isn't this a free game? It's in Pokemon. My blank, it went not. My mind just went blank. Yeah, it's on Google Play Store and the App Store. Now this is like a totally different game than what they were just showing. That looks totally different. Whatever.
で、天然じゃないんで、起点。
So out of my entire research that I've done, here's a quick recap of what we know about the person in the costume. They live in Japan. They always had a dream of being an animal. They love the attention. They have a camera woman. They don't care about realism. They're a huge fan of Pokemon Unite. This image is the closest IRL image they've posted. This is their voice.
なんかこれもったい、こっちから見ると結構もったいない使い方してるけど。
They're very shy about people close to them knowing they want to be a dog, and they're very scared to go out in public. And a little bonus fact that I noticed is that their favorite Pokemon is Eevee. So, is this a case of a person being stupid with their money, or just someone getting what they want because they have enough money? Could mean the same thing. I mean, Toko isn't hurting anybody besides maybe giving, people some nightmares. I say let Toko do what they please, and we get that creepy entertainment. I might just hit up Zeppet and make me an Earl costume. But yeah, I think we have a right to judge people based based on what they buy if they're posting it on the internet and it seems like they want attention. But honestly, who cares what you do with your money? You know what they say, YOLO, right? But yeah, that's gonna be the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching it. I'm sorry for the inconsistent uploads. I really am. I was finishing the album and it's gonna be out, so I'm back on the YouTube grind. I know I say I'm back on the YouTube grind a lot, but I'm just gonna zip it and just actually show you guys some work. In 2023, I want to make more specific topics, because I usually do broad topics like the dark stories of Reddit, the dark of YouTube. I don't know. Those were very broad topics. In 2023, I do want to focus on more specific topics, like for example, this Toko video. If you guys liked it, let me know if you guys like more specific topic videos. I loved doing research on this, so I hope it performs well. And Ear Candy debuts on this channel on January 26th at 6 p.m.
I would say they're
PST.
pretty good.
I'll see you guys next time I upload.
That was a good video. I'd give it 9 out of 10 for that one. Let's go back to Sunny. Pizza hasn't been doing so well.
Failed franchises, bankruptcies, and almost no growth in revenue for the last 10 years. This is the sad reality for Pizza Hut, who have had so many store closures that there's now a subreddit dedicated to finding former Pizza Hut restaurants. To understand why Pizza Hut has lost almost half of its market share over the last 20 years, we have to begin by asking the following question. Why was Pizza Hut so unique and successful in the first place? Back in the 1990s, Pizza Hut had a reputation for having some of the craziest yet most unique and successful pizza designs, which were not only delicious, but also gave the public a reason to talk about the business. For example, in 1993, Pizza Hut released the Bigfoot, a massive
Oh, that looks goofy. That looks like microwave pizza that's been stretched out. That's all Pizza Hut is, though.
2 feet long by 1 foot wide square pizza creation, with the Bigfoot accounting for 18% of total sales. There was also the cheeseburger crust pizza, the hot dog crust pizza, and the cornflakes crust pizza. However,
Second. I guess not. Just continue the video.
But none of these were as successful as the now famous stuffed crust pizza, which achieved sales of $1 billion in the first year, boosting Pizza Hut's stock price by roughly 50%. Of course, this strategy led to the occasional flop.
Hold on. Pizza was owned by Pepsi? Are they still? And they do.
Pizza Hut's stock price by roughly 50%. Of course, this strategy led to the occasional flop, such as their controversial lasagna pizza, which was described in a review as the worst thing I've ever eaten in my life genuinely. But for the most part, these experiments seemed to help Pizza Hut stand out from the crowd, especially when they were served in their distinct dine-in restaurants. These restaurants added
Who remembers the buffets that Pizza used to have? For real, bro. Jackson just sent me. Oh, he hasn't. Oh, okay. Jackson just dropped an album. Didn't he? No, he's working on an album. He's working on it. Alright, hold on. We gotta pause this video right now. We're about to react to that. Alright, here we go. Here you go. Oh, I'm not signed in right here. Sign in, I guess. I'm actually about to do something real quick. G. Just give me a second, guys. I just need 1 second. It just totally showed that, but it's fine. It's just my email, so you guys can see. So, we're gonna react to Jackson's music. What we're gonna do. We're taking a break for right now, and we're gonna react to the songs I have not heard. Alright. I'm just gonna text him and tell him what I'm doing. Alright. Lonely Road is the first track that we're gonna listen to that I have not heard. Alright, he can't join the stream, it's fine.
Alright, man, let's record this up. Alright, yeah. This is like the first acoustic guitar I've had on.
So loud.
Alright, let's record it, man. Yeah, you say I left you on the other side, but you left me for another guy. And you left me to die, and you left me tonight, and I tried. You say I left you on the other side, but you left me for another guy. And you left me to die, and you left me tonight, and I tried. 'Cause I could walk this lonely road that I've never been on.
This reminds me of like an X song. You know the ones, like Changes. I'm not gonna play it because copyright, but yeah, it reminds me of that.
Before, and I'll try to do my best for everyone around me. 'Cause I could walk this lonely road that I've never been on before. And I'll try to do my best for everyone around me. Yeah, I'm driving around the world. I'm driving up national. Yeah, my stomach's in a whirl. You can call it international. 'Cause I would like to know if you could ever show me. Let the good times roll. Let the bad times go. I'm on a lonely road. I'm
I'm on a lonely road. I already know it's so catchy. Bro, that's a fire song, bro. That is absolutely a banger. Let's do one more for now. Run it.
I keep running out of love. All my problems, they keep coming out of luck. And all the love's gone, just like ping pong. And all the problems in the world, yeah, the list is very long. Cause I keep running out of love. All my problems, they keep coming
dude.
out of luck. And all the love's gone, just
Yeah.
like ping pong. And all the problems in the world, yeah, the list is very long. Can we just be together? I'ma sing you a song, so put your feet together.
Yo.
Just me, you and me forever. And I just wanna be yours. And I don't wanna do my chores. I wanna be with you, now mop the floors. We national, baby, close the doors. And I just wanna be yours.
Yo, this song, bro.
Yeah, I'll hop in the whip, and then I head south. You're complaining, my heart breaking, I can't do this right now. We all over the place, people asking me how. Yeah, I'm leaving you, adios, goodbye, ciao. And I've been on a stage, wanna fly away. Let's give our hearts to each other, let's make a trade. The city ain't cool and the city ain't safe. I keep running out of luck. All my problems, they keep coming out of luck. All the love's gone, just like ping pong. And all the problems in the world, the list is very long. Cause I keep running out of luck. All my problems, they keep coming out of luck. And all the love's gone, just like ping pong. And all the problems in the world, the list is very long.
Dang, bro. This is a banger, dude. It's totally different from the song I just listened to. Also, this album's about to be all over the place. Not like KSI, though. I do not like KSI's music. Except for Lose, that's a good song. But yeah, anyway, this is it's a 10 out of 10 album right here. It's about to be. Alright, then. Back to Pizza.
The social element to pizza,
That was so freaking sudden.
turning it into an event as opposed to just another meal. The early memories that we all have of going to dine in at our local Pizza Hut are infinitely more memorable than the hundreds of times we've ordered takeaway from Domino's. During the dine-in days, Pizza Hut had something that physically separated them from the competition. Nobody could offer an experience quite like Pizza Hut, providing them with unbelievable.
Are you being nice?
I'm saying, what's up? I'm
Are you on the phone?
No, I'm streaming.
So why are you watching YouTube?
Because it's called YouTube. You can stream YouTube if you want to.
Unbelievable levels of success, especially in the early days. Pizza Hut had the monopoly on pizza and you paid through the nose for one. At first they had to educate the dining public with little signs saying, pizza is traditionally eaten with the fingers. For the first few years I remember that there was no takeaway, dine-in only. I remember that a family-sized pizza cost around $20. Nowadays that would equate to probably $50 or more for a pizza. People paid it because they were experiencing this delicious food for the first time. The Pizza Hut dine-in experience was seemingly profitable in the beginning, but this didn't mean that it was going to be successful forever. Some insane anecdotes claim that a new source destroyed Pizza Hut dining completely, or that dining was destroyed by their staff choices. However, the main issue seemed to come from other competing pizza brands who were specializing in delivery. There's something about pizza that makes it perfect for eating at home. The box acts as a plate, there's no cutlery needed, and the compact design of pizza reduces the potential for mess. Domino's began to take advantage of this at a time when Pizza Hut didn't even offer delivery. In fact, Pizza Hut only began delivering pizzas 27 years after launching their business, doing so because they saw how successful Domino's was. The convenience of delivery meant that you didn't need to go
And Little Caesar still doesn't do it. They only do it through Grubhub and Uber Eats and stuff like, and DoorDash, stuff like that. And it's way more expensive now. So, thanks, Little Caesars. You're still behind.
Go to a dine-in restaurant if you wanted to eat pizza. And if you did desperately want all-you-can-eat Pizza Hut, you could literally just go to any all-you-can-eat restaurant offering pizza and eat your 8 slices along with 100 other food options. Pizza was no longer an exclusive thing in the same way that it was in the early days of Pizza Hut. This lack of exclusivity in combination with delivery also shifted people's perceptions of how prestigious pizza was. As mentioned earlier, Pizza Hut adopted the dine-in model when pizza was an exclusive new dish from Italy. However, Domino's and delivery in general turned pizza into just another fast food. Pizza Hut became no fancier than McDonald's or KFC, so why would you take your family to eat there as a special occasion? Then there was Pizza Hut's increased pricing and decreased quality. Overnight, the price went up from $6.49 to $8.49. The high school students previously a common sight disappeared. With fewer people, the quality suffered. Pizza Hut was always more expensive than the alternatives.
That's when Little Caesars came in. Their $5 hot and ready pizza. That's for, well, it's not $5. How much is it now? How much is it? We're just gonna. Sorry, I'm sidetracking. How much is it? I should just click on menu. Delivery, I guess. I'll pick up actually. No, I don't want to do that. Menu. They don't tell you how much it is. Okay. How much is a hot and ready? $5.99. It's a whole $1 more, but still.
Affordable only when getting second, third, fourth pizzas at a reduced price. But it got more expensive. The pizza remained very greasy and people started eating low carb. There are better alternatives, especially for that money. Pizza Hut CFO David Gibbs made the claim that having dine-in restaurants is now a negative for the business, stating the challenge Pizza Hut faces is that it has a large dine-in business. Dine-in is waning in relevance. In other words, Pizza Hut needs to focus less on dine-in and more on what people want, which is to take their pizza with them. This was also highlighted by Artie Stars, the president of Pizza Hut USA, who stated the biggest problem that Pizza Hut is facing is perception, explaining that many of its customers don't associate Pizza Hut with delivery. Stars said the facade of its locations reinforces this idea, and it isn't helping to lure in diners. When you drive by the location, it doesn't scream "we deliver." To promote delivery to its customers, Pizza Hut delivered pizza to space, the Oscars, and the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, but it still seems as though they aren't competitive on delivery. And on the topic of Pizza Hut in comparison to its competition, we should also highlight that Pizza Hut is extremely uncompetitive.
Hey, Domino slaps. Alright, Domino slaps. I do not care what people say. Domino slaps. Papa John is still better than them, though.
From a health perspective, their standard pepperoni pizza contains a whopping 8,153 kilojoules, equal to almost 2,000 calories, which is close to the entire recommended daily adult calorie intake, and has almost twice as many calories as Domino's pepperoni pizza, which has 4,450.
I mean, to be fair, you can eat on a pizza all day.
Over 1,000 calories. But it's not fair to make this point unless we see the size and quality of each pizza. So we ordered a pepperoni from Domino's before doing the same with the nearby Pizza Hut in order to compare the two different pizzas. As mentioned, the Domino's pepperoni came in at 1,064 calories, while the Pizza Hut pepperoni came in at 1,948 calories. And with the Pizza Hut pepperoni costing double the price of the Domino's pepperoni, you might expect that the
I'm about to blow those minds. A Big Mac meal has more calories than a whole Domino's pizza. 1,064. 1,080, bro. 1,080. That's insane.
the Pizza Hut pizza would be double the size. However, as you can tell from the opening, this isn't the case whatsoever. The Domino's pizza had a surface area of 510 square centimeters, while the Pizza Hut pizza had a surface area only 12% larger at 572 square centimeters. Additionally, the Pizza Hut pepperoni weighed in at 1.46 pounds, making it only 7% heavier than the Domino's pizza at 1.36 pounds. Now, to Pizza Hut's credit, their pizza definitely presented and subjectively even tasted better.
No, it did not taste better. But That's looking like some Chuck E. Cheese pizza right there, if y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all remember this. Bro, it looks so stupid. What is that?
Better than Domino's. However, with the Pizza Hut pepperoni being double the price and double the calories with no real distinct advantage, it becomes obvious as to why Pizza Hut has become uncompetitive. When looking at Pizza Hut's menu, you'll also notice that the days of Pizza Hut trying wacky unconventional designs are certainly long gone. The only crazy product that they have on their website is a range of pizzas which use a chicken schnitzel as the base, but apart from that, almost everything else on the menu feels like something you could get from Domino's at a cheaper price. Nowadays, there's so many restaurants, not just dedicated pizzerias, that offer pizza on their menu that you can simply get better quality food at discounted low prices at other places. It's not even worth using Pizza Hut for pizza anymore. You'll get better results elsewhere. Now, to Pizza Hut's credit, they did try to overhaul the menu back in 2014 when they introduced their biggest brand evolution ever called Flavor of Now, which introduced countless different new fancier menu items and was described as the biggest change that Pizza Hut and the pizza category has ever seen. However, their new upscale approach had minimal impact on Pizza Hut's revenue, which actually declined by $100 million in the same year that they implemented Flavor of Now, which becomes even worse if you consider that during the same time period, Domino's sales grew from $10 billion to $15.8 billion. And if we instead look at older data, we can see that the average sales per store has barely changed since 2006, which is about the point where the dine-in model died. While a consistent $12 billion per year over the last 10 years still seems like a pretty awesome scenario, the growth experienced by competing pizza brands has led Pizza Hut's market share to decrease from 25% in 1995 to 14.3% in 2016. 2016 also marked the year where Pizza Hut lost their 45-year-long title of the world's largest pizza brand to Domino's. However, their stagnant revenue has caused significantly worse problems than simply losing some arbitrary title. For example, in August 2019, Pizza Hut announced that they plan on shutting down over 500 underperforming stores in the US, and exactly 1 year after that, in August 2020, Pizza Hut's largest franchisor, MPC, announced that they were bankrupt, having roughly $1 billion in debt, forcing them to close 300 of their Pizza Hut franchises and put their remaining 927 stores up for sale, representing 1/5 of every Pizza Hut restaurant in America. 1 month after this, Pizza Hut announced that they'd be closing more than 10% of its stores in the UK, with this taking place in the very same year that Domino's and Papa John's had net gains of 17.6% and 15.9% respectively. In the process, Pizza Hut was undergoing a logo change, although not to something fresh representing a bright future, but rather to the same logo used during the Pizza Hut glory days of 1974 to 1999. Pizza Hut's chief brand officer Marianne Radley stated, "Embracing our iconic Pizza Hut logo is recognition of a time period where Pizza Hut unequivocally reigns supreme because that's where the future is headed. However, at the same time, it feels as though they're desperate to remind the world that Pizza Hut still exists, and this doesn't sound like the kind of play made by a company who's going to be reigning supreme anytime in the near future."
Absolutely, bro. It's a good video. Shout out to 2. And I think we got time for one more. We gotta find something good. Facebook, why not? I hate Facebook.
Facebook stock price has fallen by over 50% in only 7 months. What's going on? Well, let's begin by looking at the day on which this price decline began. The 2nd of February 2022, when the parent company of Facebook and Instagram lost $230 billion of value in less than 24 hours. Just to give you an idea about how much money $230 billion is, the total GDP of New Zealand, being the value of every single product or service produced by the entire country for the whole year, was only $210 billion, which is less than what Facebook lost in a day. So what went wrong on this fateful day in February when Meta set the record for the highest one-day value decline in stock market history? To put it simply, this was the day on which Facebook revealed to the public that both their site usage and revenue has been declining. Shown on screen is a graph displaying the amount of daily active Facebook users over the last 10 years. For every quarter besides the first 3 months of the pandemic, growth in the Facebook Facebook user base was almost strangely consistent. However, if we take a look at late 2021, for the first time in the website's history, user growth flattened off substantially. When looking at the graph for monthly Facebook users as opposed to daily Facebook users, the data is similar. Only 0.1% growth from October to January, 0.8% from January to April, and then even a decline of 0.07% from April to July. Surprisingly, or perhaps unsurprisingly, Instagram
Facebook's
follows
dying.
a similar trend to Facebook. Nothing but growth from
Same thing,
2015
same company.
until 2021, at which point stagnation hits. Why? Well, the first reason behind Facebook and Instagram's user growth stagnation is somewhat of an impressive problem. They're battling with human population limits and have run out of new countries to expand into. Of the 8 billion people on Earth, 3 billion log into Facebook at least once a month, leaving 5 billion people that don't use the service regularly. Of these 5 billion remaining, 1.7 billion live in countries such as China, Iran, and Russia, where Facebook and Instagram have been banned by the government, leaving only 3.3 billion who aren't using the service. According to an article written by the New York Times, another 3 billion do not use the internet at home or on their phones, and in some of the world's most populated countries, including Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Nigeria, a majority of people are not online. If you then factor in another 15% of the global population,
Isn't like Russia still using like 2G internet or something like that? Trees? No. Oh, 3G, but it's Norway, Mexico, Italy. That's not surprising.
who are under the age of 10,
Russia
making them
did
too
too,
young
some
to use
parts of
social
Russia.
media at all, then pile on the hordes of people who have made a deliberate effort to boycott social media altogether, Facebook and Instagram's problem becomes obvious. They're running out of humans. In an article written by Time titled Inside Facebook's Plan to Wire the World, it explains how Zuckerberg is working to literally provide the entire third world with the internet because it's now the only way that Meta can reach new people. Connecting the entire world wouldn't actually literally be possible unless everybody in the world were on the internet. So Zuckerberg has decided to make sure everybody is. This sounds like the kind of thing you say you're gonna do but never actually do, but Zuckerberg is doing it. He is in Chandoli today on a campaign to make sure that actually literally every single human being on Earth has an internet connection.
We really want to get the next billion people online. And if we can play a role, then that's something that I personally care a lot about.
Is it selfish for Zuckerberg to connect the entire world to the internet just so he can get more people onto Facebook and Instagram? Or is it a win-win situation for everyone? That's an ethical conundrum for you to consider. However, this might not even be the main problem, as Meta isn't only running out of new people to introduce the services to, but those who are currently active on the services are departing in droves. Somewhat hilariously, Facebook has lost 1% or 30 million of its users to that pesky little thing known as death, and with 12.1% of Facebook's user base being over the age of 55, this number will inevitably increase as time progresses. Yet Facebook should probably be less worried about the boomers and a little more concerned about the zoomers, as Facebook's biggest loss in user count stems from the younger generation. Back in 2018, Facebook demographics began to follow a very
I got a question for y'all. When's the last time y'all logged into Facebook seriously and looked through it? I checked the other day to see if my school was in session, but that was it. I just checked my school's Facebook page and that was it. I got immediately off.
interesting trend. There was an increase in users from the older generation, little change from those in their middle age, and a pretty substantial loss in users from those under the age of 25. 1 year later in 2019, another piece of data was published supporting a similar trend, only to a more severe degree. There was a slight increase from the oldies, barely any change for the middle age crowd, and again a massive 17% decline in only 2 years for those using Facebook under the age of 34. After seeing this data, it's no surprise that Facebook has also earned the title of a social media's retirement home. It's definitely developed a reputation as a platform mainly used by the older generation. The problem with this is that the younger generation wants to use whichever social media app their friends are on, as opposed to the app that their grandma is on. This might also account for why it's become such a trend for young people to hate on Facebook. Who the hell uses Facebook anymore is without a doubt something you've heard from a friend or your favorite large influencer, and it seems as though this attitude
Literally, I just said that pretty much. That's crazy. It's true though. Who uses it, bro? Only like parents and grandmas and stuff use Facebook though, for real. It's just true.
is doing serious damage to the platform, as when looking at the most recent data for how many youngsters are using the platform in 2022, the numbers begin to get scary. When US teens were surveyed in 2014 to 2015, 71% said that they used Facebook at all. However, over the last 7 years, this number has more than halved to only 32% recently, representing the biggest decline out of any social media platform. And when looking a little closer at the graph displayed on screen, the reason becomes pretty damn obvious. Competition. Teens just don't find value in Facebook anymore. There are now well over 5 strongly positioned social media platforms to endlessly scroll through, and it isn't sustainable for our minds to compartmentalize nor prioritize our relationship with all of them. For the sake of time and sanity, people have to eliminate platforms that begin to lack a value-add incentive. Facebook, which teens often associate with their parents, has little to offer Gen Z. Zuckerberg himself even echoed this sentiment. When Meta's stock price began to decline 7 months ago, he stated that they were facing unprecedented levels of competition and that people have a lot of choices for how they want to spend their time, and apps like TikTok are growing very quickly. Going back to the data, we can see that the Gen Z big 4 social media platforms are Snapchat at number 4, Instagram at number 3, TikTok at number 2, and YouTube way out in front with over 95% of US teens using
Tumblr, Reddit. Okay, let's go at this. Number 1, YouTube. Number 2, TikTok. That's easy. Those two are like the number 1 things in the world. Instagram, number 3. I still use that. Snapchat. I use all these. Now, Facebook. No, I use Twitter. Twitch. I wouldn't. Oh yeah. If YouTube is one that. So yeah, I use Twitch sometimes. Don't use WhatsApp. Don't use Reddit. And don't use Tumblr. So I guess I am a statistic, except for Twitter. Oh, and Twitch.
using it. When examining each of these big 4 platforms, the value they add or the edge that they have is obvious. YouTube long-form video, TikTok short-form video, Instagram images and photography, Snapchat photo messaging. Even Twitter has a discernible edge as a platform for those who want to follow politics and the celebrity world. However, when looking at Facebook, the value it adds or the edge that it has isn't all that obvious. The general vibe that Facebook gives is that it's a watered-down, weaker version of the 4 most popular apps combined, and it's diversified to the point where rather than being strong in one area, it's just kind of weak in all areas. When Facebook's stock price began to decline 7 months ago, Zuckerberg announced that their focus was going to be on short-form video, but it's obvious that the Facebook algorithm is poor in comparison to YouTube and TikTok, and what's the point in going on Facebook to see your friends' photos?
They're good at stealing your info.
Anyway, Facebook definitely has a bit of an edge with Messenger, but this is still in very close competition with Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and good old-fashioned text message. Perhaps this is also why
doesn't Facebook own Instagram, so they're just competing with themselves. So either way, they're making money off of it. It's true. What do you think they're into Meta? Because no one likes this word right here.
Zuckerberg has started to put his focus and $10 billion into creating the metaverse. He understands that Facebook's edge lies in providing the best circumstances for online social interaction, and if Zuckerberg can pull it off in a way that's interesting, accessible to everyone, and not cringy, it sounds like a pretty cool concept despite the online metaverse hate train. Additionally, the metaverse is theoretically a product that will appeal to the younger audience who are departing Facebook in droves. In an article written by Forbes, this was highlighted as the main reason behind the metaverse's development. If it wants an app to win back young people, it will need to build it itself, and Zuckerberg seems to feel a VR-centered metaverse will do this. We're retooling our team to make young adults our North Star, he said on last week's Wall Street.
You'd have to buy the visor for it, which looks stupid, I'm pretty sure, right? Or is it just a Quest? Okay. Oh, it's just, yeah, just a Quest. Never mind. But these, come on, you can't just pull out a whole Meta Quest in middle of class or work and just use it. That's why phones are so much better to use for that stuff.
Conference call. The other thing that Zuckerberg seems to have going for him is that, as highlighted by the previous data, it seems as though many of Facebook's young former users are simply migrating to his other product, Instagram, which is clearly not in the same dire straits that Facebook is in. However, it's not like Instagram hasn't been without complaints recently. What the hell is going on with the new Instagram update, May 2022? Why has Instagram changed? The app looks different and users hate it. June 2022. Why is everyone saying Instagram is rubbish now, and what's TikTok TikTok got
Okay,
to do with it
Instagram's
in
not
July
trash, not yet.
2022. All of these articles touch on the exact same current complaint about Instagram. It's drifting away from its roots in an attempt to become TikTok. It used to be a place for pictures of food, travel, maybe short videos in stories. Like Facebook, your Instagram feed was mostly filled with people you know, or brands or influencers you chose to follow. That's all changed now though. It seems Instagram is trying to be TikTok. As a result of these drastic changes to the platform, Kendall Jenner and Kim Kardashian would both post a story for their combined 686 million Instagram followers stating, "Make Instagram Instagram again. Stop trying to be TikTok, I just want to see cute photos of my friends. Sincerely, everyone." However, it's not like celebrities have been
That's cringe. I'm sorry, that's just cringe. You don't have to watch reels. You don't have to. It's a choice, so just ignore it.
the only ones to notice such changes. If I really wanted another TikTok on my phone, I would have downloaded TikTok. What's up with the Instagram feed? Y'all are supposed to be competing, not copying, LMAO. This new Instagram immersive feed has got to be one of the worst updates to an app I have ever seen, LOL. In a split second, my Instagram turned into TikTok, with my mostly photography feed turning into video. I love TikTok for what it is, but this is bullshit. They've ruined Instagram. What's even funnier is that despite making all of these changes, an article published this month by the Wall Street Journal outlined that Instagram is still nowhere near competing with TikTok. The article stated, Instagram users cumulatively are spending 17.6 million hours a day watching Reels, less than 1/10 of the 197.8 million hours TikTok users spend each day
God
on
dang,
that.
no wonder our attention span is so bad. I just gotta Google something. I gotta show you. I think TikTok is really ruining us. TikTok is shortening our attention span. Yeah. Yeah, it does. They really do, and it makes ADHD worse. Right? Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what I thought.
That platform. Reels engagement had been falling, down 13.6% over the previous 4 weeks, and that most Reels users have no engagement whatsoever. When referring back to Instagram's quarterly revenue chart, these negative changes seem to reflect in the flatline seen over the last 12 months. Is Instagram running into the same problem as Facebook, trying to compete with everything whilst losing their edge in the process?
Oh. I'll give this video, let's just say a 9 out of 10. I really haven't used Facebook since I was like 10. Yeah. Guys, I think that's going to do it. I think it's getting late, so I got school tomorrow, but I'll stream sometime this weekend, maybe Friday, tomorrow, I don't know. I'll figure it out, but I'll see you guys later. Oh, actually, personally, I believe people yeah, that's true. 100%. Anyway, bye, everyone.